Okay, so this one's for you, Scorpio. Welcome to Tarot Lumination. Thank you for choosing Tarot Lumination. I know there's thousands of channels out there. We'll do the best we can. This is Tarot Lumination. That's you, Scorpio, and this is your love and relationship report for January 2018. You know the drill. You've probably done it before. The protocol is you watch your sun, your moon, and your rising to get the lights going, and then you reinterpret everything to suit you. Okay? Because you're smart like that. You can figure it out, okay? And also, some of you love to do that cross-watching thing for significant others. That apparently really helps, you know? And I get it. I kind of get it. It's like the reflection, you know? That's what we're all about here anyway. So with this reading, we're going to use the crucible spread, okay? So it's on the understanding that there's you, Scorpio, a significant other, a chosen one, and there is the third entity itself, the relationship. And the relationship has the structure of a crucible. And in a loving, strong, healthy relationship, both parties invest in the relationship and relate through the relationship. And they take care of each other through the relationship. Like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? You'll see in a moment, okay? No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, none of it. It's enough just to do what we're doing here, okay? Keeping it really simple, stripped down, bare bones. And let me just see. There was another thing. I didn't do it for everybody. Let me just check this. Hold on. This isn't directly related to love and relationship, but for you, Scorpio, okay, there is going to be this massive Capricorn new moon over here in your third house to do with communications, listening, speaking, just getting on in life, literally the processes of communication in life. And so that is very likely to have an impact, okay, on your relationships, because huge amounts of relationship depend on, communication. Without communication, there is no relationship, Even if you're dealing by remote, whatever it is, there has to be communication, okay? The exchange of energy, the listening, the speaking, the exchange of energy from one to the other through the medium of energy, basically ruled by Mercury. Okay, so cards were already well shuffled in advance. I'm just going to the last second for your witness, okay? And then we're just going to do it. You'll see in a moment. Hold on. Also, another thing, Scorpio, I don't have the charts in front of me right now, but Jupiter is in Scorpio right now, and I believe Mars is in Scorpio right now too. So that's a lot of heavy-duty energy, very, let's say encouraging energy for you, Scorpio, directly. If you want to look for your sun, your moon, or your rising in particular. But the great benefic is there. The great healer is there. And it's the energy of opportunity and expansion and growth in becoming more and more the true you, Scorpio. And that is activated by Mars and Scorpio. Mars is very happy there. But the thing is, it can be a little bit overcharged at some points. When you've got Jupiter and Mars together, that's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of water power. That's a lot of healing power, okay? Very directed, surgical. It's like being a very, and when you think of Mars as like a scalpel, Mars as, the highly focused energy, taking it through the lens of Scorpio, that's like precision energy healing, if you want to look at it that way. And of course, it's very easy to misuse that energy too, because Scorpio energy is so powerful. It is the most powerful. And then because of the laws of like where energy flows where attention goes, you, Scorpio, have an obligation and a responsibility to be very deeply aware of how and where you are expressing your energy, okay? Expression, third house. I think we just cut. Yes, I think we just did. So this would be you. And excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't trust myself right then. I've been having these little blackout moments. So we're just going to do this again. I just need to be extra super clear. I want to be super clear, okay? And even if you saw in the recording that the cut was already done, then please trust and accept that we needed another cut, and that's all there is to it. Okay? So don't stress too much. Here we go. All right. This is the cut now. Okay, this is the cut. We're saying that this is the cut. All right. Sorry about the long preamble. Let's go for it. This would be the love energy that you're radiating now, okay? This would be the love energy radiating from the significant other, the chosen one, in a chosen relationship. We're not talking about accidental. We're talking about chosen, specific, deliberate, full-on consciousness. Deep inside of you, dear Scorpio, deep inside of the other, and then to the very core of the relationship itself, the status, the energy, the nature, the condition of the relationship right now. Everything is always in a state of flux, of course. Now, can you see here the crucible? Okay, the crucible is a very, very strong structure. It's like a very, very thick, heavy ceramic bowl in the science labs when they're used to contain very, very volatile experiments. And something has to contain them. So the crucible is what does that. And the crucible can withstand intense pressure as we intimate and we separate. We intimate and we separate in the context of relationship, like dolphins swimming together. Okay? All the highs and all the lows, all conducted inside the crucible. Okay? For the benefit of yourself and the other, especially in a deeply chosen relationship. Now, this would be the momentum, let's say, or prospects, if you want to look at it that way. Can you see the bowl shape there and how you relate like this? You get it? Okay. We're going to look at circumstantial energy too in just a second. And this is energy that's out there, available to you, for whatever purpose, reason. And you're not going to let that own you. You're going to make the best of it. And you have... It's like the idiot-proof card. Like you have the best. You have the best of the best you can get, Scorpio. This is just literally happiness flowing out of your derriere. Okay? So I'm happy for you in this way, Scorpio. Now, this is just if you want to, you can think of it as a reflection back to you, of you, in your own beauty, love, happiness, joy, and magnificence. And this is the universe responding, saying in some way or other, Scorpio, you're doing a good job, because this is out there, it's circumstantial, and if you want to make the best of it, claim it as yours. Claim this happiness, this joy, this purity, this simplicity. It's like the ultimate, like you can't go wrong type of energy with this. It's beautiful. Basically, it's very beautiful weather, and it's time for you to take full advantage of this. No matter what is going on here, you are divinely blessed from up above. You are literally getting the maximum blessings that is possible for any human being to receive right now. So don't be shy about receiving this, okay? If that's out there for you, grab it. It's your job, your duty, obligation to grab it and make the best of it, okay? Not just for yourself, but for the other, the significant other, in their own journey. Now remember, this is not a couple's reading, okay? This is all about you, Scorpio, in the context of a relationship with a significant other, okay? So let's have a look. What's going on? Okay. We're just like completely going out of the box here. It's like it almost doesn't matter what's going on in terms of the details. The whole point is the big picture. It's like the big adventure. This is like big love, okay? Whether it's showing to you in terms of like three-dimensional evidence, like, okay, is this the most gorgeous person I've ever met? Is this the richest, the most handsome, the most everything, blah, 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 fill in the blank? No, it's much more about understanding, realizing right now you're on the brink of something very special, very beautiful, very new, and probably in a ways that you've never like actually experienced before, ever, ever, ever in the context of relationship. And it's happening right now. And it's just as scary as it is beautiful. And that's kind of the beauty of our life here on this planet, you know. A lot of people find it very hard to understand and accept the the massive waves and currents of evolution that we have to go through. They want to lock it all down in terms of like, well, it's got to be like this and this and this, and I just want to stay in my little, you know, comfort zone. To me, this feels like it's all being blown away, but in a nice way. Okay, where not only do you have everything you could possibly need and wish and want for you, but it's also good for the other. And it allows you to be your own amazing self in terms of like being liberated. Like in the context of this relationship, it's extremely liberating for you. It's very inspiring, and it allows you to be you like never before, ever before. Whoever this is, whatever their condition, it's just very good news for you. And it gives you permission to, you can mess up as much as you want, but that's part of the journey. You can try to like organize this and make this all go according to some like pre-established plan, but what's the point, frankly? When you have the opportunity for something like this where you can, it's like somebody winning the lottery and a free ticket to go to a paradise island and just live it out in the moment, where you don't have to ever worry about the past. You don't have to worry about the future. You just stay in the moment and live that to the ultimate purity of what counts in the moment right now. What makes you happy right now? It's almost like we're jumping ahead of the whole reading here, because ultimately that's what it's all about. Like in the general reports, we do that a lot, about your decision-making process, about what is the most loving way for you to be right now, for you, Scorpio, because that's what's good for everybody. And this little tiny reading here, just the first two cards are telling me to tell you that. Like, it's okay. You have permission to be you like never before. And it's the best for everybody. Let's have a look at the other. Let's have a look. What's going on? Well, they might be holding on to what works. And that's understandable, because the energy that you might be dealing with right now, like the vortex of energy that's moving through you, the massive support of Jupiter and Scorpio with Mars and Scorpio right now, and this massive wave of Capricorn energy, which happens to be, lucky for you, Scorpio, very supportive. That's gold. That is serious, like gold, money in the bank. But it might be almost like too hard to believe, too hard to understand, either for yourself. Like, you might not even be aware of how incredibly fortunate you are right now, Scorpio. You're just kind of getting a glimpse, and you're just kind of walking around like, oh, wow, that's cool. Oh, wow. But deep down, there's a lot more going on. And okay, if you're not fully aware of it, all of it at the 100% the whole time, it's not a big deal. However, with a significant other, it could be a little bit rattling. It could be a little bit shaking, where their foundations feel very, let's say, in some ways very good. Like, I'm getting a very mixed feeling with the card here right now. And in some ways they feel it like, this is really cool. This is really good news. This is all about setting up foundations, structures, stability, locking it down in ways that work. This is like a power card to me. And as your reader right now, it's about the whole idea of like, yeah, setting up foundations of what works in three-dimensional reality, that is very, let's say, comprehensive and understandable. Like, this is a relationship that works. We're gonna make this work. This is worth it, and it's worth holding on to this and making something out of it. Now, the other aspect that I feel obliged to mention, which I feel is the reciprocal energy of what's happening here. In other words, your energy vortex might be so strong that, as good as it is, it's actually a little bit destabilizing for the significant other, to the point where they feel their own foundations in life and themselves and their own world is like getting a bit shaken up, okay? Destabilizing, which would trigger them to want to, let's say, hold on to the status quo, maintain the stability, maintain the status quo as it exists already, as opposed to being fully on board with your outrageously interesting, cool, and new journey unfolding. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's just that the good news is that this is really good news for you, Scorpio, and this is really good for news for the significant other. But like we talk about here, like when real love arrives and it's like the real deal, it can actually be quite destabilizing. It can really rock people, like literally shudder the foundations of their life and their world, where they think like, wait a minute, this is so cool, but my foundations are being shaken to the core. What do we do now? First of all, safety, you know, safety. So they may be very concerned about safety and stability and security in the context of this relationship, okay, Scorpio? And it's fully understandable because there's huge currents of energy moving through here. Let's have a look at you deeper down, okay? I don't know why I'm feeling this, Scorpio, but this is something to do with a song that is being written right now in real life by Lumination, which hopefully will come out fairly soon, even if it's in the most crude form. But it's all about surrender, surrendering to the mystery and embracing the mystery. And that's what I feel is kind of going on here. It's almost because Scorpio don't even have a choice. Like with this much energy, like pumping through your life, your world right now, to the point where whether you know it or understand it or not, or you decide to go with the flow of it or not, but again, that's your choice. But in an optimal scenario, optimal settings, this is really good news for you, Scorpio. It's very good news for the other, even though it can be really shaking their foundations to the core. So deep inside of you, it feels like there's a bit of a challenge here, because as beautiful as this all is, almost like dream come true scenarios, where you get the chance to have a complete reboot in life, complete like freedom to start from scratch and like write a completely new script for your life. It's actually in some ways also very serenely, this is going to sound weird, but terrifying, because it means having to face the great unknown, facing the mystery, and then be willing to surrender to the mystery, surrender to the great unknown, and just allow things to flow without having to know the answers all the time. And of course, that's actually hard to do, because a lot of you Scorpios, you're control freaks. You want to lock it, you want to control and organize and arrange everything and use all your vast power resources to do something, I guess that works, including relationships, money, finance, love, cars, jobs, whatever it is, health, career. What do you do with all that energy? It's like a massive flood of Scorpio energy being pumped through a very, very tight nozzle, which requires a very tight focus, okay? The Mars and Scorpio energy combined with the Jupiter and Scorpio energy, and then enhanced and complemented by all this Capricorn energy. It's really profound for you, Scorpio. And my feeling here is that there's no point in trying to overlay any of this with your ego. And I have a feeling you get that already. But it does require a tremendous, massive leap of faith, massive leap of humility to be able to conduct yourself and live in the context of a mystery. Okay? A lot of people probably couldn't handle it because it would be so disorienting. If you put these cards together, like how on earth would anyone deal with that? You'd have to have a tremendous amount of self-control to be able to tell yourself, Scorpio, I surrender. I give up to this. I am going to allow the mystery to unfold in my ultimate, what is good for me, because that's what's good for them, and that's good for the whole universe. Thank you very much. Even though I have absolutely no idea what's going on in terms of the nuts and bolts, you understand that there is a whole other bigger thing happening here. And the most effective thing you can do is surrender yourself to go in the flow like you have never done before. What about what's going on inside of them? Okay. Again, this might be a bit of a problem for them because it's almost like this is like big wave surfing, big wave surfing, where you've got a significant other with you, dear Scorpio, who it looks like they are holding on very, very tight to you, to the relationship, to themselves, in order more to do with stability. But inside of themselves, it's actually kind of exciting because it's actually triggering their own evolution to the point where they're having to, let's say, battle their own insecurities from here. And in order to enjoy the flow and get the benefits of you being with you in this relationship so that it's reciprocal and comes back to them, it takes them to a point where they are challenged very deeply within themselves, not in any way that's conflictive, either to them or to you or to the relationship, but in a way about like, how do they hang in with you? Because this is big wave energy here, like big wave surfing off West Hawaii or something like that. Not that I'm a major surfer or anything, but I'm trying to draw an analogy. And lo and behold, Scorpio, you've got so-and-so with you, and they're thinking like, my gosh, how are we going to do this? It's almost like they're on the surfboard with you, and they're totally wigging out, thinking that they're going to have to now realize that they're going to have to tap into their ultimate highest skills and probably be not forced, but they're just simply going to have to hold on tight, and they're going to have to find ways to get in the flow with you and survive that in ways that's going to bring out the best of their own talents and gifts and abilities, almost through the joy of it and the fun of it. And it could be very exciting, but it's also very challenging because it means they're being drawn into this partly against their will, because it looks like they would probably like a bit of, peace and stability, but it looks like they kind of they've already surrendered to the mystery thing, and they've decided like, well, we're just going to go for it. I have no idea what's going on here, and know it's going to take me to the max of my own skills ability. Like, what happens if I'm on the same surfboard with them and they mess up? Then, oh my gosh, I could go down. What happens if I'm on the surfboard and it works really well? Wow, that is so cool. What happens if you're, in kind of a neutral position where you think you should do this, but they think they should do that? Then it could make things a little bit wobbly. But it is fun, it's exciting for them, and it takes them to a whole new level where they're going to raise their game, so to speak. Okay? Thanks, Scorpio. Thank you, Scorpio. It's exciting, it's fun, but it's also very destabilizing. Okay? So let's have a look at the core itself here. Okay. So in yourself, in the relationship, it's taking things to the limit where can this actually happen? Is this actually for real? Can it actually happen? Can you hang on? Remember, this is your reading, Scorpio, so it's all about you, as though this is your relationship. So, like, whatever's going on, if you feel it's taking you to the absolute limits of your ability, where you have no options except to surrender to the bigger picture here, which includes this dear one here, this chosen one, and as exciting as it is, as destabilizing it might be for them, it takes the whole relationship to the point of, let's say, the brink of its capacity to endure. However, the capacity to endure is still there. This becomes joint energy. That's what I feel here, where both parties realize that they are in this, and the situation now with the relationship is, will this endure? Because this is such an overwhelming current of energy. No matter how wonderful and beneficent, it's almost overwhelming for anybody, just for you, Scorpio, let alone another, let alone a significant other in a very significant relationship, where it puts everyone to the max. Let's have a look. Where does this take us? This is what it takes, people. This is what it takes, Scorpio. In other words, this is going to require a lot of courage. Okay? But it's worth it, because the outcome is just, the prospects are just beautiful. And it's like, because this is joint energy here, normally on its own, this would be like you having painted yourself in a corner where, like, gosh, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't know where else to go. I've got to hang in. I can do this. and it's up to me, and I can hang in, but it's joint energy here. And so both parties, it feels to me like they're both deeply committed here to getting this to work, because it's exciting and it's fun and rewarding, even if it's destabilizing over here. It's totally trippy for you, Scorpio, and you don't have a choice because the energy vortices are so strong. They're very complementary, but they're very strong. So it can be destabilizing for both of you, to where the relationship itself is taken to the limits of abilities. But that's where the magic happens. Kaboom! Alchemy inside the context of a crucible, where it's just like, oh my God, is this going to happen? Is this going to work? Then, bam! Yeah. And the outcome is just beautiful, because what happens is you get manifestation here on Earth, on this planet, of something which is the embodiment. All of a sudden, this relationship here between you, Scorpio, and a significant other becomes the embodiment of this energy distilled and crystallized and bottled and brought down to Earth, where it can be like living by example. Like you, Scorpio, with the significant other, are now a living example of what love really can be, in terms of joy, in terms of liberty, in terms of surrender, and just living it out by example. It's so beautiful. It gives both of you the chance to manifest, create, express, deliver, enjoy the physical realities of a loving real relationship in all aspects. I'm saying everything, hint, and the fertility, where it all leads and where it grows. It's like having a beautiful garden. All of a sudden, like this bizarre alchemical thing here goes poof. It turns into this magnificent, like fertile, beautiful, manicured garden type environment. And you guys own it. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now before I mess up. I really talked way too long. I'm sorry there. I got so excited because of that sun card. Jeepers. Bye, Scorpio. All the best. Okay, bye-bye.